Magic the Gathering is in a downward spiral. We've all seen it been happening for week after week, month after month. But really, you need to look again. There are some unusual sales going on with Wilds of Eldraine and other cards in the singles market that players need to be aware of. In today's video, we're going to discuss what is happening in the secondary market and what you need to know. Somebody out there believes. Somebody believes in the secondary market and that these cards have value. There's a lot to cover. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here. Thanks again for hanging out with me on the channel today. And of course, if you enjoyed today's content, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Turn on your notification bells. I upload content every day of the week, and every new subscriber is helping this channel get closer to 20,000 subscribers. Thanks again for hitting that subscribe button and joining in the conversation by leaving comments in the comments section. Now, Wilds of Eldraine released a week ago, officially. We had pre-releases the week before. You guys get where we're going with this. And the sales were barely anywhere. They were trickling in. And I'm getting ready to, get information for the top 10. This weekend, top 10 video, hottest selling cards. And I was taking a look at the information, and the sales data started really adding up. Massively. Now, of course, the two main cards we are going to talk about, at least for Wilds of Eldraine, there's other things to cover here, but of course we're going to hit Agatha's Soul Cauldron. You guys can see it's spiking up in value. And then, of course, we are going to talk about Beseech the Mirror. It's trended down a bit, but it's still on that kind of upward trend. It's seeing play in all kinds of areas, okay? We need to be aware of that. So when you look at those cards and you see the value, 50, 60 bucks, that's not a huge volume of cash when you're just looking at the money. When I cover financial stuff in Magic, though, I'm looking at volume. Even if it's a 20-cent card, if it sells 10,000 copies, that's still a lot of money. That's still a huge amount of money. So when it's a $40, $50, $60 card and it sells hundreds, thousands, or lots of thousands, I'm not going to give away the top 10 numbers right now, I'm still gathering, but at least thousands of sales, and it starts showing up as sold out everywhere. And it's on wish lists that people want to buy this card at those prices. That is starting to tell you something that you're not going to hear from just every YouTube content creator. Even myself, without information, you only see what you see. I'm now seeing data that tells me the sales are very strong for individual singles cards. Maybe not the boxes, but we all know to get to those singles, you need to crack the boxes. And if there is a lack of supply, but an increased demand, eventually the prices will be so high that people will crack those boxes. That's just how things work. And currently in this market right now, with the prices continuing to rise and a lot of players not, buying new boxes and delving into this stuff, you're going to see the prices increase. Now, this adds equity to Wizards of the Coast, no doubt. This adds reprint equity they can tap into, especially if they don't ban anything and keep these cards going. But let's just dial it back a second and talk about that value. Who made that value appear? It wasn't Wizards of the Coast. Sure, they knew they probably built a great card and they intended for this card to be exciting and expensive, but it's the people buying the card. The people paying $40, $50, $60 US to buy these cards. I think there's a near mint one on TCG Player for $40 US, which would be like 50 something here in Canada plus the shipping, like 60 bucks Canadian. I look around here, it's sold out. Wish lists all over the place. So that tells me people want the card. They want to play with it, and the demand is high. If the demand is high, the price will stay high. If the price stays high, then somebody believes in the secondary market still. There are players out there, a mass majority, who maybe are being negative about it, but they still believe these cards have value, and they want to play with them, and they want to enjoy them. And we're talking paper Magic here. We're not going to an arena and just having the game hack at us and make us lose 30 matches in a row, win 10, lose 10, lose 10, lose 20, gain 30. No. Not a hack system that's a pay-to-play. I'm talking about the actual value of a card being determined by players who are seeking it out and wanting to buy it. That's just those two cards. I don't know if anyone's noticed, Baldur's Gate's dragons are selling. All those ancient dragons are seeing increased sales. I'm not giving away numbers, but let's just say some of those cards might make the list this week. I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm seeing even ring race and stuff, all these increased uncommon sales, common sales, quick study. There are so many cards that are upticking in sales, including quite a few Lord of the Rings, that it looks really weird. And not all the forest cycling lands. A whole series of cards that shouldn't be brought to my attention right now are being brought to my attention. The financial data is mounting. That there is a lot of volume of cash moving into a whole bunch of singles cards, and those singles only come from boxes. They haven't been reprinted in secret layers yet, so people must still be cracking boxes. Now, the stores I'm communicating with and talking with say right now there has been no increased sales in box openings, especially Commander Masters. That is a taboo product still, and it doesn't have massive sales other than the original glut that hit the market. Nobody's buying it, just you guys are FYI. But all the other stuff, even some Streets of New Capenna, there's some crazy box opening stuff going. I guess prices are so low, people are like taking advantage of it, but they're seeking out certain cards. Even Triomes are being bought. I checked Pathways, nothing big there. The original land cycle from Throne of Eldraine has an uptick in sales. The Castle Vantress and all those guys. Taknuma, Abandoned Mire, a whole bunch of cards. Even what's that? What's the green one? Bozuju, right? Who Endures, the one I thought was going to be banned. All these cards are seeing an uptick. And it's in the hundreds and hundreds of sales. Now, I admit some of these cards have lower prices, and that could contribute to the higher volumes of sales. But I'm not sure why we're seeing so many cards of mid-level value. We're talking $20, $30, $40 cards in the hundreds of sales. We're talking, so far, I think I've added up to about $500,000 in sales in 1 week? Just for singles? This doesn't add up, does it? For all the negativity we're hearing, for all the stores who say they're cutting back on orders, if they're cutting back and players want to play, then the demand goes higher. And the more we have demand and a lowered supply, well, the values go up. Those dragons were not massively open because, let's face it, they were overpriced at the time, and it cost a fortune because they were hard to find. They weren't in every box. I opened lots of boxes on the channel, lots of collector boxes that had 0. You guys can go back and watch those videos. My Baldur's Gate openings for like 401 games, we got hammered. Only 1 or 2 had dragons. It was crazy to see all those boxes have nothing. But now players want them. Now players are seeking these things out. As well as a whole bunch of even some rares and stuff from Dungeons and Dragons, Hall of the Storm Giants, some stuff, Den of the Bugbear, just a whole bunch of lands in general. Now I don't know if all those cards are going to make the top 10 this week, but there's enough sales there that I actually have to compete it and add it head to head against other cards to see which volumes come out higher, and that's unusual. Especially this time of year when you should be moving through Wilds of Eldraine, getting ready for Doctor Who, right? We're getting ready for the Doctor Who drop to see more of the cards coming up, and then Ixalan. So this isn't fitting the normal year. When I look at the spreadsheets of my stuff, this is not adding up to an average year. It's kind of weird right now, but I want players to be aware of it, because that means some of the cards you might be after may not be dipping in price the way you expect them to or hoped they would. And for all the negativity out there about the game and how Wizards is running the game, apparently players still want to buy these cards. They still want to play with them. And the funny thing is, I know a lot of stores aren't seeing a ton of trade-in right now, but they are seeing purchases. So they're seeing stuff leave their store shelves. Their buy prices are lower, I admit. Most of the stores are still in a risky position, and their buy lists are much lower, which could be contributing to the fact that they're not going to get a lot of trade-in value right now, which again drives the values harder and higher. Not harder, higher. It's just a little bit strange to see how the market is turning this way due to increased demand but lowered supply. And we talked about this about 2 months ago. We said, if people don't open a lot of boxes, we could see some funky stuff going on in the secondary market with singles being out of alignment with the current normal value when you have a huge glut hit the market. Now, I don't know if these things are going to settle down the next week or two. This could be a blip on the map, but I just thought we'd bring it to everyone's attention that it's obviously not over yet because people are spending tons of money on this game in cash. So there you have it. You heard it here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And I hope you comment in the comments section. Are you buying? What's going on out there? You trading in? You moving on to other stuff? You buying reserve list cards? I got to know what's going on. I like to hear from a lot of different people, especially from around the world. If you got information or spreadsheets of stuff you bought, send it to my email address, alang@hotmail.com. Hopefully you got some cool little stuff spread out there that I can read it all. I'll be curious to see what you guys are doing. It's great to see how the market can shift like this on a dime. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out in the channel and supporting the channel every day, everyone. It means a lot to me. Looking forward to seeing you guys, tomorrow. Another great video. Going to be crazy stuff. I'll see you guys then. Have an awesome day. Here we are at the Hall of Fame. These are the amazing patrons who support this channel day in and day out, allowing for daily uploaded content all year long. Thanks again to their amazing support. My patrons, my YouTube membership members, you guys rock. Welcome back to the Ramble Jamble, this Marvel Cinematic Universe we call home, where I just gab on about stuff because you made it to the end. And you now get to bear witness to me in my work clothes, coming home, recording a video. Yeah, see, I'm buttoned down now. I'm like, oh, I can breathe again. Guys, crazy day sometimes. Now, we're here at the end, and I want to comment on this a little bit more. I'm trying to put together the top 10 for the weekend, but pre-recorded. I'm trying to get the most accurate numbers I can, so I'm hitting up a lot of the stores, and they start saying this stuff like, hey, have you heard about this, or has anyone asked you about this? I'm sitting there going, what are you talking about? So I start checking with a few other stores, and some of these wish lists are getting kind of long for certain cards. Those dragons are desired. I mean, maybe not always at that price point, but some of these cards we're seeing, I'm kind of like, really? Some of these things are so readily available, but not everyone buys on TCG Player. Not everyone buys on, Fusion Gaming or Card Market, Tabletop Giant, Up North Games. Some of these places only go to local stores. So depending on where you're shopping and what you're doing, I guess your market can be very small and some cards are very desirable. So a few of these stores said they went and bought stuff on TCG Player just to stock their stores because some of their shelves are getting bare now because nobody's opening product, but they still want individual singles. It is a crazy world we're living in. Now, I'm hoping for more information for another video for Friday. We'll have to see how this all pans out, but there's some crazy stuff going on. I think some of it really could show up in the top 10 this weekend. I'm hoping some of it does because that would just be so weird to see all these people who say there's no value and everything's crashing down, including myself, like the way the market looks right now, it's horrible. And then seeing a kind of turnaround is kind of fun. It just brings that little bit of excitement saying, ha, we told you so. I don't know, we'll see. Doesn't mean these are recovering anytime soon, but there's some crazy shenanigans going on and Wizards will benefit from it either way. Doesn't matter how much we hate them, they're going to benefit from this. Thanks a lot for hanging out. Thanks for being here at the end of the video. And of course, if you make it this far, if you made it here, just put chainsaw. Chainsaw. Because you know what I'm talking about. Yeah.